Hello and welcome to card number 3 from this month's April card making class. And this one is a card with a couple little tricks to it. This is the inside. So let's get started. When you get your little pouch, just make sure you grab everything, put it outside. We don't need these for now. Use those later. So you have a whole bunch of 1x1 squares, and while they all fit perfectly in here, the top, excuse me, picks up. The top ones need to be cut maybe a little bit, and I show you how we do this. Just a little bit too tall. So this one is cut out with the Cricut machine. And I know it's hard to see that it has actually faux stitching on here, but to make them pop a little bit more, what I do is I just bend them a little bit, and then you take a file or another distressing or sandpaper distressing tool, whatever you have, and I just go over it slightly where those stitches are with my file. And if you don't see it enough, just go a little bit harder, and then they show up. And we just do this with all and I buy these files. They're perfect for this type of distressing. They lay nice in your hand and they do a good job. They're not too heavy for sanding. They're just a fine grit, so that works perfectly. Okay, so can you see the difference now, how much they pop? And then we do the same with those. Yes, you can leave it as it is, but it just makes the card more interesting when you see actually these little stitch lines here. And it doesn't take long to sand them down a little bit. And since our cardstock, close to my heart cardstock, has a white core, it naturally shows really nice when you distress it. And don't worry when the base is a little bit bent, since we put adhesive on the back later, you won't see this. Okay, now this is looking much better, right? And I think we're good here. Okay, a little bit dusty. Now all we have to do, make sure that the inside, that you're the right way up. And I will use liquid adhesive. You can use your tape runner. It's just every time I have something that is embossed, or you know, like this one that was a little bit wavy, I like to use liquid adhesive because it just adheres better to the paper. Makes it easier. It's a little bit stronger bond, but a tape runner will work. It's not embossed, so it's just bent a little bit. Okay, we center this in the front of our card, and now we grab our squares, and you can follow my design or just, I just really laid them out in a random way. I try to. Random doesn't always work, but got a brown one here. There's an orange one. There's another orange and the two brown ones. And I would start with the squares that fit perfectly, and then the top ones we're gonna cut a little bit. Okay. And there goes one. There's just a little bit spacing around each of them. They're hand cut, so you know, just move them around a little bit so it's spaced evenly. And if you can't find the design that I'm using here, just flip your square around. Usually on the back side is something else, and that's why you can't maybe find that piece that you're looking for. Okay. Dots have the same dots, but the flowers have that greenish background, and the brown flowers have stripes on the back. I mean, you can use the back side too if you want to, if you prefer. Sometimes, you know, with the design papers, they're double-sided. You might like the one side better than the other. Just flip it around. Nothing wrong with that. And again, you can use your tape runner for this. I just have my liquid glue out, so I might as well use it while it's out. And one more. And then the top ones, we're just gonna cut a little bit, like about this much off. That should work. Let's see, perfect. So just a little snippet off. And they're not too big, so you can actually do this by hand with your scissors. That one is a little bit bigger. Here we go. And toss this. Adhere these. And again, in which order you put your squares down is up to you. Whatever you like. It looks the best if you put them down that way. Okay. Now that we have this one, let's turn to the glitter paper. So the glitter paper has a little V in here. And remember, normally you would cut your design paper from this side, but since it's glitter paper, we're gonna flip it over, and you go in the middle of this piece as far up as you want your V to go, and then you go from one corner to the tip, and then you go from the other corner to the tip, and there is your perfectly shaped V. And this again is just adhered with adhesive. About, how much are we? About 1.5 inches from the bottom. Not an inch. About an inch. I'm just looking at my other card and I'm like, yeah. So here we go. And again, this lining up with the mat makes it really easy. So I'm just making sure that my card is square down here, and then that these two lines are in match with my glitter paper. Okay, so for if you're in class, you will be doing this in class. Since you have yours at home, it should be already etched. So this is how the paper normally comes. And we just use a little sponge and a little brown ink and we go around the edges a little bit. You don't have to do this, but I think it just gives it a little bit more definition, a little bit more character. And yes, there's a lighter side, like we have seen in card 2. There's a lighter side to this, but you can use the lighter side, you can use the darker side here, whatever you want to do. Okay, I think we're good. And I use these little sponges. These usually come in rounds. It's like Z697, and then I just cut little wedges out of them, and I put one of these little paper clips on the back that holds them up. That works great. Okay, so now to adhere your leaves and flowers. Let's put the flower together first. So this flower has, there's a little piece left, fits right on top of this white one. So you just want to put a little bit adhesive. And if it doesn't, flip your piece around. They line up, but it depends on if you have the right side or the left side in, you know, in your hand. So these two line up perfectly here. And they get a little thin pop dot. And then this, actually, it doesn't really matter. You just put it down however you want. Doesn't fit perfectly under, that's not meant to be. And there is your flower. So for everything else to adhere, this one gets a little pop too. And again, these are our thin 3D foam pop dots, Z3341. They come with the bigger ones and these smaller ones, and they're really nice and thin. So if you don't have them, try them. And to adhere these, I'm just gonna use a couple of glue dots. Reason being, so anything you want to adhere on glitter paper, you need a liquid adhesive or something similar strong, because otherwise it will not stick. Glitter paper is one of these things that's hard to find an adhesive that sticks to it. So I have a couple of these big glue dots left here, and what I do to if they're too big, I just fold them over with my paper and then put my leaf on top here, pull it off so it's like partially only. I know it's overkill, I don't need that many, but that way they stay flat. So I just use one more. And then I also need a couple for the flower. So can I just push my flower down here? And I will do 3s, because I will show you what I do next with a little wire. So this one here, just the way you think it works. And once it's done, just leave it. Don't move it anymore. So we also have this little piece of, it's like gold wire. I don't even know where I got this from. And but it's kind of cute. It's very thin. And I just pull this a little bit together, and you can bend it since it's wire, you know, you can pull it up and it stays up. And then I just press this on the back side of my flower here, and then I put my flower right on top here, and with the glue dots it's gonna stick, and so does the wire, so everything is fine here. And then we just end up putting our little sending sunshines. Somewhere here. And our card front is done. And you can still, you know, push this a little bit around. And for the inside, it is stamped. You have those little flowers everywhere, and then I just did a little bit more doodling, and all that is a little line with a little heart monitor, as I call it, and another little line, and I just do this around. So here's a little one, heart monitor, zigzag, and another line, and same here. And it doesn't really matter how long they are, or, and then we do one more. And there is our card number 3. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. And if you don't have a machine that can cut these little stitches, or you don't want to go through the hassle, or you can't see them very well, if you have a white gel pen, that works great too. Close to my heart actually has these gel pens here, and They come in 3 different sizes actually. They come in a 10 and a 5 and an 8, so they have different thicknesses, and these are awesome on dark. I use them on black paper, works great. There will be a video to show you how they work. And then they also work great on colored cardstock, anything dark. These ones are awesome. Like I said, they come in a set of 3, and I will put a link down, or you can just contact me if you're interested. They're really great. All right, that is card number 3, and there is one more to go, so we'll see you back soon. Thanks, bye bye.